expect. Georgia, majorly black city, majority black city, I should say. Blue city, Democratic city. Um, this is what you would expect. Funny enough, Trump has a rally coming up tomorrow, actually, in Atlanta as well. But this is what you would expect from Georgia. Not that there isn't more rural parts of Georgia that support Trump, but I believe Georgia is one of those states that could go either way. So when it comes to Atlanta specifically, you could expect this.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, it's good to be back in Georgia. Thank you, everyone. Can we please hear it for Tyler? I want to thank Tyler for that incredible introduction. I invited him and several other young entrepreneurs to come and visit with me at the White House, and we had a really very long and
Kamala's been really strategic about who she's hit up to endorse her campaign. It's y'all favorite artists, it's y'all favorite influencers, it's who y'all look up to on Instagram and TikTok and all the other social media platforms that we all frequent. So she's been very strategic, very thoughtful of who she's asked to join her campaign. Because let's face it, like Democrats know Democrats know that they low key just have to put up an entertainer and we'll be enthralled with whatever they're talking about. Put up one of our favorite entertainers and we're automatically in. Like that's all you need to do.
An important conversation about the future of America.
My man!
You represent the best of our future. Thank you for that.
My man! My man!
And please give it up for Quavo.
Oh, yeah. There is powerful niggardry at work here.
So good to see everyone. And let me also thank our incredible members of Congress who are with us this evening. Senator John Ossoff, Senator Raphael Warnock, and Representative Nikema Williams. To Mayor Andre Dickens, thank you for welcoming me back to Atlanta. And thank you to the great Stacey Abrams for your extraordinary leadership.
So popular in Georgia. I think she was a state representative, if I'm not mistaken. Extremely popular in Georgia.
Georgia, it is so good to be back, and I am very clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will. So let's get right down.
It's been about 2 to 3 minutes of applause and laughter and kiki kawing. Like, come on, Kamala, let's talk. Let's get into it. Any other solid leader or solid speaker would have had the crowd controlled and corralled by now and would have been able to start to articulate, some of the reason why we're here, some of what they showed up for. They didn't show up just to clap. Like, come on now, let's hear what you got.
So I'm gonna get into some business now. Okay, I'm gonna get into some business now. All right.
Bruh.
So Georgia, as many of you know, before, and have a seat if you have a chair. As many of you know, before I was elected vice president and before I was elected a United States senator, I was an elected attorney general and an elected district attorney. And before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor.
And it's funny how she's been the VP for 4 years. We should already know this about her. For this to be the start of her campaign and she's having to make an introduction to the world like this, like we haven't seen, or she hasn't been in a prominent position for the last 4 years, like this really points out the fact that she's been missing the past 4 years as our vice president. Like, where has she been? Why hasn't she been in a public position to where we know about her backstory yet? Yes, of course we do, you know, some of the more educated minds or some of the people who care about politics, but why is it that she's having to make this introduction to Americans for the first time almost? Like, she's been our VP for the past 4 years.
So in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say...
Don't you love how it's just turned into like a blood sport in politics? Like, some people complain about how it's gotten too hostile and how the rhetoric is dangerous. And I can admit at a certain point in time it is, but I do just find it funny where they just go completely off script, or what historically has been the script, and they just go straight to name calling, straight to bashing. Oh, he's this, she's that. You gonna really vote for a predator? Oh, you really gonna vote for somebody who says they not black? They just decided to be black. It's hilarious. It's like they roasted.
I know Donald Trump is tight. I know the type. And I have been dealing with people like him my entire career. For example, as Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges that was scamming students. Well, Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students. As a prosecutor, I specialized in child sexual abuse cases and sexual abuse cases. Well, Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. And as an attorney general, I held the big Wall Street banks accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud.
Okay, you know, live fact checking for y'all. Just why not? So Harris did spend 6 years as Attorney General of California, which we all know. Used her post to hold accountable for-profit colleges that violated the law. So she's right about that. She investigated for-profit colleges and sued Corinthian College, a for-profit chain that shut down in 2015 under pressure from the education department. Okay. So she does have a little bit of history with, I guess, fighting on behalf of folks. So, you know, one nod to Kamala.
34 counts. Trump.
Because we knew they were going to do this. Oh, he's a felon. Man, we've been talking about it since they accused Trump, or since they placed the charges on Trump. We've been talking about how that was going to be the narrative all election year, that he's a felon, don't vote for a felon, you're really going to vote for a criminal. And what did she just do?
Was just found guilty of fraud. 34 counts. So in this campaign,
and this is where I realized they could have put a rock up here and they would have supported the campaign of a fucking rock. They hate Trump more than they hate Kamala. You heard it here first on S.E.T. and Key Media, man. I don't think anybody else is going to give you that perspective that raw. they hate Trump more than they actually support Kamala. They could put somebody's pet rock up here with a speakerphone on it and somebody's talking behind a fucking curtain like some Wizard of Oz shit, and they would campaign. They would support the campaign of somebody's pet rock. They hate Trump that much.
So in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week. Any day of the week. Including, for example, on the issue of immigration. So I was the Attorney General of a border state. In that job, I walked underground tunnels between the United States and Mexico on that border with law enforcement officers. I went after transnational gangs, drug cartels, and human traffickers that came into our country illegally. I prosecuted them in case after case, and I won. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not.
And if you've been following politics, or if you've known anything about Kamala's caseload over her vice presidency, it's exactly the border. So she's about to shoot herself in the foot right here. And I want everybody to take their pen and pad out, because she's going to write a master class on what not to do and what not to say to an informed border.
Walk the walk. Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
The pandering. And I love Quavo. I fuck with Migos. Migo. Come on now. Like, who doesn't? But the pandering is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's like they knew they would eat this up. Like, oh man, if we get Quavo out there, if we get him to come out there and really support us, oh, that's half of the black vote right there. That's what they think of us.
Our administration
honestly is damn near racist if you really want to be honest. Like, you want to talk about conservatives being racist, you want to talk about Republicans being racist. How is this not racist? This is like some fried chicken watermelon shit that your friend, your Asian friend would say back to you in middle school. Like, fried chicken watermelon. Like, yeah, of course we like that. That's why you're saying it. Of course we like Quavo. That's why you brought him out. You don't really care about us though.
Worked on the most significant border security bill in decades. Some of the most conservative Republicans in Washington, D.C. supported the bill. Even the Border Patrol endorsed it. It was all set to pass. But at the last minute, Trump directed his allies in the Senate to vote it down. Right. He tanked the bipartisan deal because he thought it would help him win an election.
Bruh.
Which goes to show Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares.
That doesn't make any sense. If you've heard any of Donald Trump's campaign's plan predating back to 2016 or 2016. It's always been about the border. That's been Trump's strongest stance, is the border. So she's gaslighting us to believe that Trump is really lackadaisical on the border and she's going to be some type of dictator or some type of strict leader when it comes to overseeing the border. Like, she's banking on the fact that most of us don't realize that the border has been under her supervision for the past 4 years. And look at the
you stupid
now.
Cares about himself. And when I am president, I will work to actually solve the problem. So here is my pledge to you.
if that were true, it's like we gave you a chance with VP and this is what you did. Like, if anybody's been paying attention, that alone should be not to vote for Kamala. And I say this with as much neutrality as I possibly can. It's just like it's almost disrespectful for her to get up on stage and say she's going to be hard on the border when she gets in office, when she's been in office, and look at where we're at.
As president, I will bring back
like,
the border security bill that Donald Trump killed, and I will sign it into law and show Donald Trump what real leadership looks like.
Oh, you gonna show Donald Trump. Okay.
But make no mistake, this campaign is not just about us versus Donald Trump. Truly, this campaign is about two very different.
And when you make somebody a villain to the point that to the point in which they have Donald Trump, when you hype him up to be this big bad boogeyman, like that's all you need to do. You don't even really need to state your stances too hard. You don't even really need to do much politicking on your side. All you have to do is say, I'm going to take him down. You know, that big, scary that big, scary boogeyman on the other side? Yeah, I'm going to take him down. Just vote for me.
Visions for our nation. One focused on the future, the other focused on the past. We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity to build a business, to own a home, to build intergenerational wealth, a future with affordable health care, affordable child care, paid leave. And all of this is to say, building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. Because we here all know when our middle class is strong, America is strong. And to keep.
That is a common tagline used by Democrats and the leftists. And what really should be the takeaway when they say that is when the economy is strong, Americans are all doing strong in each class. When the economy is strong, when things are affordable, when people can buy goods, when that shit can get pushed along. Because what we have working here in America is a system. So when everybody can participate in that system, which in turn keeps that wheel churning, that's when America is at its strongest. It's her saying that she's going to make the middle class the strongest it's ever been. I'm going to strengthen. It's pandering. More pandering.
Our middle class strong. Families need relief from the high cost of living so that they have a chance not just to get by, but to get ahead. Yes, it is true that by many indicators, our economy is the strongest in the world. But while inflation is down and wages are up, prices are still too high.
We got some rivaling economies. I mean, I don't want to turn this into a geopolitical lesson right now, but I'll just name a few economies right now that can, I would say, touch ours, you know. And it's countries we wouldn't even necessarily think of. Obviously, Russia's at play, China's at play, but countries as well as Iran, some of the Middle Eastern countries are in a position of prominence, economic prominence. So there's some sleeping giants out here. So America, we are the number one, but we need to step it up.
High. You know it, and I know it. And when we win this election, here's what we're going to do about it. On day one, I will take on price gouging and bring down costs. We
That's what they need is that middle lower class dependent on them. They don't need a thriving American who's trying to get it on their own. America who's trying to make a name for themselves. Really an American who's trying to more so get their own buck rather than a buck handed to them, you know? So they need that middle class. It's their base.
Ban more of those hidden fees and surprise late charges that banks and other companies use to pad their profits. We will take on corporate landlords and cap unfair rent increases. And we will take on Big Pharma to cap prescription drug costs for all Americans.
Okay, so if you've been paying attention, that's Joe's plan. That's what Joe's been saying. Big Pharma, capping the rent, so landlords can't unfairly hike the price. She's just going off of Joe's playbook, so it's right on par. That all track.
Our plan will lower costs and save many middle-class families thousands of dollars a year.